Hello, welcome to this explainer video from Fleet Evolution, and what we want to cover today is how you can get the biggest savings from salary sacrifice cars. Salary sacrifice cars are a bit different to every other benefit you've come across, in that the savings up front can be a lot bigger due to volume discount, due to tax and NI savings and potentially VAT savings, but there is a sting in the tail in company car tax which can erode those savings. So I'm just going to go through a graphical illustration of how that works for you. 10 times the size, so a proper car, that will cost you around £400 a month retail. Now it's important to remember when you're comparing our deals against retail that the cost you have, there's no deposit, so on the day the car's delivered your deduction starts that month of the month before. It includes absolutely everything but fuel, so insurance, tyres, maintenance, gap insurance, everything else is included for you, and of course access to our services. And salary sacrifice makes some really big savings up front. So if this car will cost you £400, illustrated by £40 here, retail, then salary sacrifice will deliver some fairly big savings for you. You'll save typically around 20% up front on volume discounts. So that's our leverage for those discounts. So 20 to 25% you can save for that because we buy so many vehicles on your behalf. You'll then save because of tax. So tax, typically 20%, so you'll save another £8, and you'll save because of NI. You may also save because of VAT. The way it's structured, your employer pays for it on your behalf and then deducts from your salary. So most employers can reclaim VAT on car leasing, or most of the VAT, so you'll also get a saving there. So all in all, it can halve the cost of a car compared to retail. So £40 retail, or £400, 20 or £200 via salary sacrifice, which sounds absolutely fantastic, but there is a sting in the tail. So the government tax this benefit. If your employer provides it to you, the government say we still want to get our pound of flesh, if you like, but they do it in a fair way. The government are really committed to greening our motoring and putting environmentally friendly cars on the road and on our driveways. So they say the greener the car, the less company car tax you'll choose. Now this, like I say, is pure electric, obviously. In this case we're in non-AAs, but there's lots of cars out there which you can charge at home. We give you a free of charge charging point, and they'll do up to about 250 miles on a single charge. And if you have one of those, you pay a tiny amount of company car tax. So you're paying around £210 compared to £400 retail. Obviously this is just an illustration, but the percentages scale up or down depending on what car you choose. If you choose a slightly more polluting car, so something like a hybrid, which has a mixture of battery power to drive some wheels and petrol engines when you go a bit further afield, that company car tax will increase. So now we're paying £25 or £250 for a car which should cost £400 in the open market. And if you were to then go for a petrol, something like an EcoBoost or something like that, then you'd erode more of a saving. You're now talking for a fairly clean petrol engine of spending about 75% of the cost that you would retail for the same car. Still a great deal. It can, however, if you don't watch for CO2, get fairly scary fairly quickly, not just for the planet, but for your pocket. So, as illustrated by our black car, this is a diesel. This is the easiest way we can find to represent it. The company car tax could actually wipe out all of the savings that you'd make for our scheme, which generally, once you get to about 130 CO2, the company car tax wipes out all the savings you make. The car itself is still cheap on our scheme, but once you're tax adjusted because of the company car tax, you'll find yourself paying about the same you would retail. And if you go above the 130 CO2, this car could actually cost you more than you would pay retail. Now those aren't the only reasons you should go green. I'm just going to share with you some examples of the actual costs. So we have some cards here just because we recently did an exercise at a payroll show to illustrate this, and we've got some different vehicles that we're going to illustrate. So we've got a couple of diesels and some electrics just to compare them to. If you're in the market for a small car and you go for something like a Nissan Duke, you'd be spending £125 a month on diesel just to do 10,000 miles. If you go for something like a Hyundai Kona, which is a pure electric, this car will do 280 miles on a single charge. It costs under £400 a month on our scheme, and this car would cost you just £7.50 a month to run on our scheme. So huge savings. We put the charging point at home. If you've got a drive or a garage, you can use this. If not, then sometimes we can put charge points at work. And again, who does more than 280 miles over a week? Very, very few of us. And we do have options if you do that, where you can switch it for a petrol or diesel for the odd days you need a bit more range. If you go for a larger car, the figures get even more scary. So there's a Q7, big 4x4, very polluting. Also will cost you a fortune going forward to take this into several large cities around the UK because of congestion charges. And that would cost £150 a month just to do the 10,000 miles. Compare that to a premium electric like a Jaguar I-Pace. So this vehicle again will do about 250 miles between charges, and to do 10,000 miles over a year, that will just cost you £15 a month. So you can not only save the planet by making a switch to either a full electric or a plug-in hybrid, but also make significant savings on your pocket as well, not just on the upfront salary sacrifice cost, but also on your actual fuel costs or energy costs going forward. If you need more help with this, please speak to our driver line team. They're the experts, or nag your HR team to go out for a launch where we can actually bring some of these great cars to you and make you aware of the benefits.